Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to wrap up today with the creator request, which is where a smaller band gets in contact with me and asks me to check out their music. Today we have a track from Chaos Over Cosmos. Much like the earlier Against the Sun, this is a band we've had on this channel before. Hey Bryan, I'm Raphael Bowman, a guitarist of I can't read. A guitarist of technical melodeath progressive shred project Chaos Over Cosmos. 2 days ago, we released our new studio album called A Dream If Ever There Was One. Some time ago, you recorded absolutely the best React video I've ever gotten. It was amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So now I'm curious about your opinion this time if I could ask you to review one of our singles called Fire Eater. Just a reminder, we are an international band, progressive metal project of 2 guys who never met each other, done completely online. This is our 4th album. As always, in every song there's lots of technical solos and shredding guitars. Our typical synths are present too. At the same time, this is the heaviest album we've ever recorded. So I'm excited about this. I remember when we checked them out last time and I was blown away. Let's dive into this. This is Chaos Over Cosmos, Fire Eater. Yeah, so we were in a 9 right there, I think. Very cool shift right there. You know, like 11-8 right there. Oh, that slight delay. The layered ping-ponging vocals. I'm digging the cleans on this. Oh, it's such a gritty guitar tone. It almost sounds like a saw. The drums are just a little high in this section. Very Trans-Siberian Orchestra there. Maybe the drum, if the drums are over, it's just a hair bit. It's actually not as bad as it felt the first time. I could do with a little bit more vocal in all the sections though. Oh yeah. The harsh stops over in the right pan guitar. That tempo or time signature shift. The guitar sounds like a synth. It's got like this digital edge to it. Bringing the chorus back. That would have been a fine place to end it too, but you guys were not done. That would have been a fine place to end it, but you're not done. I'm looking at the time, I'm like, they got 10 seconds. They could fit something else in here. But no, you let it fade out. Um, yeah, just bonkers. Now, I scrolled down a little bit to see what was going on here. Drums and synths. That's a hard word to say. They're programmed. So I wanted to see if we had a drummer or not. The drumming it's technical. Like, I don't think you could listen to this and not think it's technical. There's also a lot of precision to it, but it's entirely programmed. I would love, love if you guys ever found a drummer. I know that you're always, the music and the vocals. I think that's what you were last time too. Let me check this out because we checked. Yeah, Silver Lining Between the Stars was the last album we looked at. Yep, all music by Raphael and all lyrics by Casey Lyon. Same people. Yeah, if you guys ever found a third person though to do the drums rather than the the programming, I think that would be phenomenal. And that's not to say that the programming's bad. It's on the border. There's parts of it where it feels programmed, parts where it actually has more of a natural element to it. But I'm not saying it's easy to find a drummer to do this either. First, you got to find a drummer, then they got to be able to keep up with what you guys are doing. Um, but I think it would be that like 10% extra. All right, you guys are already at like just phenomenal music. This would just give it that little extra bit though, just to have those real drums in there. But it's not a dig at the band at all. Like I said, it's fine how it is. Um, it's just that little bit of extra oomph. Now, I have one criticism. We're gonna get it out of the way before we talk about all this, and that's the mix. Um, the drums were, I pointed the drums out. I think it was the first guitar solo. I said they were a bit loud. There were blast beats going on in the drums. The second time though, we did like something. Maybe the drums just changed and the guitars kept soloing. The drums came back with the blast beat though, and the guitars were soloing again, or maybe they were still soloing. And it wasn't that big of a problem at that moment. It might have just been the shift because we weren't doing blast beats before that. So the drums had a bit more velocity, a bit more volume to them, and I just wasn't expecting it possibly. But like I said, maybe just pull them down just a hair, just so that the guitars can shine a little bit more. And this is actually my same second problem, which is the vocals. They're pushed way too down into the mix for my taste. As usual, these always come with caveats. Any of my criticisms or recommendations, if you enjoy what you're doing, stick with it. If it sounds good to your ears, stick with it. I'm coming at it from a non-metal perspective, typically. I know a lot of metal does tend to push their vocals down. I like my vocals just a little bit higher, and they're not pushed so far down that I can't hear them. Same with the guitar solo. I could hear it. I could still make it out. I was just having to, strain to really key into that specific instrument more than I would have liked, given that it's the lead element in the section. Um, but yeah, just like a hair bit on the vocals, hair bit down on the drums, hair bit up on the vocals. Not too much. The mix is almost perfect. But to my ears, the drums are just a little loud most times, especially when the blast beats come in. It's just tons of attacks, tons of really sharp volume spikes, quickly put together where it almost creates a wall of sound. It just begins to drown out things around it. Now, with that said, though, let's get on to the positive here. First of all, the killer precision and technicality and musicianship that goes into the guitar work here. And that's not, again, to discredit what the drums are doing, just that's going to be more of a compositional thing that I get into. Right now, I want to focus on the performance. Um, just to hear the music and then to envision what you are physically doing and imagining that is 7.5 minutes of just constant technical precise shredding. I don't know if you guys play, well, you don't play shows, you're on two different continents. um so right now you're just a studio band, but like even just thinking about how far has technology come? Because this is going to be a little bit of an aside. I hope you don't mind, Raphael, if you're watching. Raphael? Oh, Raphael, sorry. Rafal? God, I'm so sorry if I've mispronounced it. I think I've said it like 4 different ways now, and I just realized that there's no E in it anywhere. um, I'm just going to call you guys by your band name. Chaos Over Cosmos. If you're watching, I hope you don't mind me getting to a little aside here, but how far has latency come for streaming software? How plausible would it be? How possible would it be to do a live show of people in two different places? And there would have to be a delay, wouldn't there? You'd have to have an engineer who brings in both sides, lines them up. They would have to be both be playing with a click track or in-ear monitor of the studio version, and then an engineer would have to grab both of them, set the audio offset, and then stream that to whatever platform. It could be done. I just don't think that streaming software is set right now for that type of just off the cuff separated conference performance. Anyways, I don't know why I was. I'm imagining you guys putting a concert together. I don't know if that's something you have planned. I would love to see, or even just playthroughs. You guys have guitar playthroughs? Nope. There is no video at all. You guys just have music videos up. I would love to see a guitar playthrough. I'd love to see a vocal playthrough. You call them playthroughs? A vocal performance of this as well. Um, just because there's so many different elements. We'll get into vocals in a little bit because I was equally as impressed there. But anyways, just there's lots of shredding going on. There's lots of tapping and sweeping and uh, just thrashy riffs occasionally where you focus more on pedal tones. The guitar work is just fast. It's furious. It's fast and furious. Um, and again, it's just precise and technical. I think that's the thing that really stands out. Like you can play fast and play a bit loose and sloppy, and the distortion is pretty much going to cover that up. But you have such a clean tone as well. I mentioned it kind of sounds like a saw at times. Um, and it is a razor sharp tone. It does not bleed out anywhere. There's not much reverb to it. Your palm mutes, when you do that, it is just an abrupt cutoff on the sound. Um, and you get some really cool textures out of this, but it also requires such a precision in your playing. You're not allowed to be sloppy at all, or else it's just going to muddy up the entire riff. The mix doesn't account for that. The sound of your guitar doesn't account for that. It's just it would destroy everything. So like there's so much precision in here. Just wild. Um, then we have the drumming. I think see here's the thing with the drumming. There's some really neat ideas in here. And I love the variety of the drumming. You know, we got blast beats, we got fun technical stuff. There's some great fills in here. But to me, it's lacking that personality, which I think a drummer can bring to the table. Many technical drummers have a very specific voice to them, and the voice comes through not just when they're in the pocket, right? Not just when they're doing the blast beats or laying down the metronome or sitting in, the very rigid confines of being a time-based, rhythmic-based instrument, but it's the little melodic elements that go along with it. When to use the bell of the ride cymbal, when to use the side of a cymbal, when to, cross stick, when to, whatever. There's so many different aspects of the drum kit and how to use it in melodic or ornamental ideas. And that kind of stuff just doesn't shine through in here. As technically awesome as the drums are, they're missing that little bit of ornamentation, that little bit of color or personality. It's not something that I think really matters too much in the larger picture, but I think for people who are drumming focused, maybe if they're drummers themselves, I think it's going to be something that's pretty noticeable. There were a couple of moments that I really liked out of the drums, but for the most part, they were, what's the word? Uh, Functional. They did a great job at providing the rhythm and the intensity, and there's a bit of variety to it, but it was missing that same unique voice to its instrument like you're providing for your guitar work and like your vocalist provides for the vocal work. It could be achieved through programming, but it to me it takes a drumming based person to really pull out. Um, I don't know, maybe that's just in my experience. Drummers have a completely different way of approaching percussion than I think pitched instrument based people, melodic based instrument people do. Um, and you can usually tell if a drummer has programmed a drum track or if a guitarist or vocalist has programmed one. Usually one's a bit more not industrial, functional than the other. And again, that's not a dig at the band or anything. Like I said, 99% of people aren't going to care one way or the other. But it's again, it's one of those little things that's going to elevate you to the next level. Um, Let me get to the vocals though, and just I love them. I don't remember the vocals being this way on the last album, but there is phenomenal layering going on. I love the back and forth that happens in a couple places, just utilizing the production to overlap vocal lines without it feeling cluttered or anything, while also giving those sections more personality. It's not just your vocalist doing vocals over screaming guitars and machine gun drum work. It's, there's a personality aspect to it. There's a color, a unique concept going on. Um, there's also a larger variety of vocal work going on. There's a lot of different harshes in here that, and yeah, there's a lot of different harshes in here that I really enjoyed. Um, so, what was it? There was one style in here. I wanted to bring this up. It reminded me of, who's that? The vocalist of Mudvayne. I've only heard a couple songs from them. I don't even think I know the person's name. But he has a very distinct type of harsh, at least to my ears. And this dude sounds just like him in one of his more compressed cleans. Absolutely phenomenal. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to check this album out. I think I checked the other one out. 5 tracks, about half. I think I did. I think I checked this out when I checked out the when I did your reaction. These titles sound familiar. I honestly didn't know you had a new album out. It's only a month old, so I don't feel too bad about it. It's not like it came out 6 months ago and it just completely glossed me by. Uh, it's been a pretty hectic end of the year for me, so I haven't really been paying attention to much in releases. But yeah, this is something I need to check out. I'm gonna look at the lyrics real quick. We'll come back and talk about them for a little bit. So this is pretty neat. I really like this as well. There is a little description here. I think it's a description. It doesn't really line up with the stanza based things that come after it. It's just like sentences. It says this song is about humanity summoning a spirit that will help us all reset the world to a much kinder, reasonable world. The only problem is the way the spirit approaches this reset is with burning it all to the ground. And I like having this almost like a liner note here to let me know what their intention is with the lyrics, just in case things go over my head. And there are a couple lines in here that do, but overall, they did a pretty fine job of explaining this. Um, but what's really cool, I don't remember, did we go into the lyrics last time? The lyrics here are pretty good. There's some really nice rhythmic schemes and rhyme schemes going on here. Our chorus says we're glistening with nitroglycerin, a kindling in batches, a match head that catches, always one step away from burning it to the ground. A kindling in batches, a match head that catches. Just, it's almost the attention to the rhyme scheme and putting so many in a single line reminds me a lot of how rappers tend to approach their lyrical process. And that's not the only time we see that. There's plenty of lines in here where they don't just go for the standard um, rhyme scheme of like AABB or rhyming every other line. Only we're looking at the final syllable either. There's also this one line here in the middle. Uh, I don't know, I lost it. I don't know. I don't know how I lose words. Anyways, there's a lot more repetition in here. However, the chorus did remind me that there are clean vocals, interestingly paired against one of the fastest played sections, if I remember right. The guitar was really leaning into pedal tone at the moment, but yeah, I would love to hear more cleans in here, and much like I mentioned with the harshes, a little boost to the volume I think is would be a request of mine, just to bring it up because it almost feels anthemic. It feels like it's supposed to be this big hook, and it just falls flat production wise because of that. But a lot of the songs, speaking of the words fall flat, kind of feel flattened out. And I think, I mean, it's technical death metal, progressive metal, whatever you want to call it. It kind of makes sense to compress it down and just have a wall of sound for the whole thing, at least the way that this is handled. But I'd almost say a little bit of volume dynamics would help. Maybe that's not necessarily the angle you want to go in, and again, that's fine. Um, but it is something I just realized, like, yeah, this whole song is rather flat dynamically. It's all the same volume, same width, constantly. But I think back to like other technical death bands that go in this direction of just the constant flurry of attacks, and they don't really do much different. So maybe, if you do decide to play around with dynamics in some way, it kind of makes the song sound worse because it's just not what the elements, it's not what's going to accentuate the elements of the song. Uh, like I said, I come at this stuff from a non metal perspective, so sometimes what I say doesn't actually work within the genre. But yeah, the lyrics are, I mean, they're pretty clear about this. There's lots of concepts of burning and not being able to stop the burn. So this entity is called to help us reset and be better, and it decides to scorch the whole earth, and there's nothing we can do about it. Um, it ends. The track ends with then here's for ash, beginning anew. Here's for the devil and stealing his due. Toast to the madness, the truth, the thrall, the worst of it all. And yeah, the intensity of the music definitely lines up with this. The concept of the earth being set on fire is introduced rather early in the lyrics, and that intensity, that fear, that anxiety is represented in the music constantly. I don't know if it necessarily was designed that way. I recall the last time we checked them out, this intensity was there also, so it may just be that they picked a good topic that pairs well with the music they write. But yeah, it all kind of it comes together in a nice package. Those are my thoughts on Chaos Over Cosmos's Fire Eater. This is where y'all come in. Let me know if you enjoyed that or not. Anything that stood out to you, anything you'd like to add on to what I said or correct me on. Put those thoughts down in the comments. Above the comment section is a description box, and in there is links for Chaos Over Cosmos. I'll have all their streaming platforms and social media links in there if you'd like to check out more of what they've done. Above the description box, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Make sure you head on over to their page or go over to their Bandcamp and, subscribe or like or favorite or, whatever the metrics are for the platform that you decide to visit for them. Make sure to show them some love too. All right, those are all my thoughts for the day. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC, as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.